And hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Internet Friends, the episode where one of us is a replicant and we have to figure out which one it is.
Ah.
I'm guessing Theo.
Yeah, you can't afford a real animal these days. Come on.
Oh my gosh, no. In this economy, absolutely not.
Who made that cat?
Look at that. Look at that face. That's a real boy right there. Look at those real toes.
The attitude on his face makes me believe that it's a real cat.
Yeah.
he straight up was just
like
he straight up had the "God damn it, mom, why are we doing this again" face going on.
Accurate. That's how you know.
Anyways, so we're recording a week early, so basically if any new news has happened in the last couple of weeks, we have no idea what it is. But like, damn, another hurricane after Milton? The liberals are getting really, really friendly with that hurricane making machine.
Now, my question is...
He says what?
Theo, shocked
the
by
liberals
this
did
news.
What? I had no idea about the hurricanes.
You just blew his mind. He said they're the good guys, though. Oh, God.
Yeah, I had more to this joke. It's like, another Trump assassination attempt. Another movie is now the worst comic book movie of all time. Like, whatever, just kind of anything that we could imagine in the news. The sad thing is, every one of these things I just said is possible.
Yeah.
To happen in the next couple of weeks.
God, that election just gets closer and closer, doesn't it?
Yep, I have my ballot, and I just keep looking at it, and I'm just like, I need to fill this out. I really do, but I'm just like, I'm waiting for a good option to show up on any of the sections. I don't think that's going to happen, so.
For it to magically appear just on the ballot.
It honestly feels now like, especially around any of the early voting places, it literally feels like how it used to feel whenever I would drive by a Planned Parenthood and you have the protesters outside, but instead it's all just like political candidate signs, people standing outside. It's like, do you guys not have real jobs?
No, they don't.
I'm just excited for this election. I love that we're diving right into political stuff, but I'm like, some of the brands I follow have been like putting out like Harris merch and stuff. I was like, I don't want to wear that. Like, I'm not excited about any of this right now. None of us are having a good time.
Yeah.
It's not Obama again. Like, it's not going to happen again. We know better now.
Yeah, you can't get us excited like that again.
No.
We are now in the, like, where Gen X was, like, a few years ago, so where it's just like, we're jaded.
So much. I hate everyone.
We've had enough broken promises at this point.
Yep. There are no good guys, it turns out. There's just politicians. So, we love that.
True.
Yay!
Correct. Anyway, so aside from political talk, how are you guys doing?
Tired.
I tried so hard to come up with a joke for this week, but there was nothing happening like on TikTok or in the news that I could make a joke out of.
That's what happened.
The one thing I had is that I've been sneaking in to Megalopolis screenings and rushing the stage when the real life actor gets on stage to talk to Adam Driver. But I feel as though it's not relevant anymore. No. And so
I want to see it so bad, but I don't want to pay money for it.
Yeah,
so bad.
Yeah, that's definitely like wait a couple of weeks and see if the pirate sites have it. Like make sure you're not giving money to that movie.
No.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be awful.
Yeah, but yeah, so as said before, like not a lot's happened in the last week. We're on the short week because somebody approved Brie's vacation without telling me.
I know.
Nobody ran it by me. They just signed off.
It was a cat.
Yes, exactly.
Why did we put the animals in charge of HR?
Best at it.
I thought it would be funny.
It is funny. You're right.
Well, yeah, you go to Bo. It's just like, can I trust you in reporting this harassment I've been getting from my workers? And Bo's like, yeah, absolutely, you can trust me.
Yeah,
as he hides under the couch.
Throw the ball.
Yep. Yes. Oh my God, that ball.
At least he's easy to bribe. All I have to do is get his octopus.
Yes.
Yes, true. Yeah. Where'd that thing go?
It's there. It's in the
I need
pile. I can
that.
see it in the corner.
I was say I see him.
Yeah, okay.
It's the Where's Waldo is Where's the Octopus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bree, what about you? Have you been?
Very stressed, very tired. But I have a vacation coming up, so I can't wait to not talk to anybody except for my partner for like 4 days straight. We're gonna be chilling in Michigan. It's gonna be nice, and it's my North Star. It's the only thing keeping me going. So excited for that.
We have a very strict leave me the fuck alone on vacation policy here at Internet Friends, and we'll maintain that as long as we can.
Yeah, I'm staying at a lake house. I might throw my phone into that lake just to make sure. Because I swear, I'm sure my bosses from either job are going to contact me, and I'll be like,
Yeah,
I'll get a new phone. It's fine.
every winter when I do my cabin trip, it's always just like, I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere, so don't expect me to respond to anything if you send it to me.
100%. The service is bad as far as you're concerned. So,
Very much.
oh goodness.
All right. Well, anyways, it was my homework assignment this week, and the homework assignment I chose was Blade Runner, and I decided that we should watch the final cut, which was released in 2007. The movie originally aired in 1982, and I watched this movie like way back in the day when I was pretty young, and I don't really remember a lot of it, so I feel like we're all kind of coming in a little bit fresh on this, but I knew it was a very influential piece of sci-fi media. And that seems to be kind of a lot of where a lot of the media I've been consuming has been going these days. And so kind of wanted to see what kind of, why this is so influential and why a lot of people talk about it. And so...
Did you figure that out? Because I'm still wondering. So let me know.
I have a lot of, I have a lot of thoughts about it. But I guess Brie, you're probably getting into some of the things that I also thought about. So what did we think of the plot of this movie?
Plot.
It's
plot.
been done a lot of times since then.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, they're robots,
slow
but they can
burn.
feel?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very slow burn.
Very slow burn. Yeah, especially that like first half of the movie is a very slow burn. And I understand what they were going for, because they were definitely spending a lot of times on like the wide shots of like the cityscapes and everything else. They're trying to establish the world.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'll give them credit where credit is due. It was more show don't tell in terms of like, this is the state of what the world is around us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and they were going for a crime noir,
Yeah.
which is very much like about the mood more than anything that's actually happening.
Yeah. I will say, like, in terms of like world building, especially of films of this era and films in this genre, I feel like they did the best job of like really setting up, you know, feeling like the world was lived in and not just a couple of set pieces and just like 2 or 3 people running around. Like they had full on crowds moving around and everything else. It felt like an actual living, breathing place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything, like you said, it looks real, but it also looks kind of cool. Like there was one shot where I was like, oh, this is the future Elon Musk wants. Because I was like, yeah, in the 80s, this would have been really cool.
With the giant fireballs coming out over downtown LA.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I built the Cybertruck, but we're still burning fossil fuel.
Yay. The future is
It just
now.
looks so cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so what were your thoughts?
I have exactly 4 notes on this. It's a slow burn, allegedly. Harrison Ford is very hot. This is something I was not expecting at all. This movie is a sensory nightmare. I have a lot of sound sensitivities, and especially the scene where it was like, walk now, and there was traffic noises, there was gunshots, there was a lot going on. I had to pause for a second because I'm like, I am getting upset. This is a lot of noise at once. And I don't know if it's just the sound mixing or just the fact that all the sounds were crashing in together at once. I was very upset by that. I was like, I hated that so much. And also the romance makes me super uncomfortable. And those are all the notes I have.
I think we're all
I have a note about that.
Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, my note goes, he forces himself on her, but it's played romantically, is a note that I wrote down.
Yeah.
Very icky. Very icky.
Yeah, no, that was definitely... That was a very Ridley Scott move, to say
Yeah. True.
Spoiler alert. It's like, this is a movie from Ridley Scott. But yeah, no, like, I definitely felt discomfort, especially in that scene. It's just like, yeah, it's not how that should work.
Also, where did that come from? They don't have a relationship except like she pretty girl, he pretty guy. Kiss now.
Yeah.
So I guess in one of the versions, I think it's the director's cut, which like predates this by a bit. Like, they try to imply that Deckard could also be a replicant, and that's like part of the recut plot. Like, a little bit of that's in there, but they kind of stray away from that in the final cut. What's also annoying is like there's 5 different cuts of this movie that exist and are viewable. And like they all kind of like add different elements to the story. And the final cut was supposed to be kind of the one that combines the elements that make the most sense for the sequel that they eventually released. Which I haven't seen, but I do intend to watch at some point.
Yeah. Based off of this viewing, I would also watch that. But the only thing I knew going in, other than like the replicant stuff, was that there was a huge debate over whether or not Harrison Ford was a replicant. And I got to be real, in my read of the movie, I don't think he is.
No,
for sure.
There were a couple moments. I
mean, in fairness, in watching the movie, it's just like, as far as I'm concerned, every character was a replicant in how they behaved. It's just like, there wasn't a single person who's just like, that person's not a robot. That person's
everyone's kind of weird.
Like, it's just like, as far as I'm concerned, if I was a Blade Runner, I'd be shooting everybody. I'd just be like, you're a robot, pop.
Well, and they didn't even do the other Ridley Scott thing where they have like milk for blood, like the alien androids. No, they just got blood and guts, even though they're androids.
Yeah, well,
makes murder real easy.
Well, I guess it's kind of implied that they are purely organic. They're just synthetically organic, is the kind of thing about it. So, like, they're not like mechanical. Like, their brains are actually organic brains. They're just brains that are made based on that. Regardless, we could talk about, lore and whatever else about that another day. Don't necessarily think we have time for the deep dive. But I will say, kind of going back to the top of the thing, I think the biggest place where this film has influence more than other films has been video games, because a lot of how this thing is kind of plotted out and how it functions feels a lot like a video game. Like, if you told me that Kojima wrote the screenplay when he was probably like 3 years old, I would have believed you. Because there's a lot of elements where it's just like, man, this feels like a Metal Gear Solid game or a Resident Evil game at certain aspects, especially with like some of its set pieces, its settings, how Deckard kind of moves through the world and like doing his investigation. Like, here's a clue of a bunch of pictures that, like, to us mean absolutely nothing. It's just a bunch of pictures. But, like, there's some kind of, like, element in the pictures that move kind of the plot forward.
That scanning technology, I have a note that's like, oh my god, this movie's in the past, which shocked me. And also, that photo scanning technology, we still can't do yet. We can't enhance a photo that much to be able to see the face in a reflection.
Well, especially from, like, a printed out photo. Like, you can't, like, scan a printed out photo and then just suddenly...
Also, that scene is so long. I'm like, this could have been a 2-second scene. And he's like, okay, here, no, here, no, here, no, here. I'm like, I get it. Zoom in on the fucking thing already. Please, speed it up. I get it's a slow burn, but it doesn't have to be this slow. Let's go.
Can you imagine having to zoom in on, like, your iPhone by, like, saying what quadrant of pixels you wanted zoomed in on?
Oh my god, I would give up.
Pinch to zooming it?
Yeah, exactly.
I do love going back to, like, old sci-fi where it's just like, that's the year 2019, and then you go back to 2019, it's just like, okay, let's compare and contrast the technologies. Some of them not as far off as you would think. They had, like, the FaceTime, like, payphone kind of thing. It's just like, okay, we have that, we just don't do it as payphones anymore. You know, the scanning contrast, like, pinch to zoom thing is just like, okay, instead of telling the thing to zoom in on these exact coordinates on the image, we actually just zoom in. But yeah, no, it's funny. It's always fun to watch just, like, how far the mark is missed. But, like, what, like, it's just like, yeah, you were, like, in the vicinity of it.
Close, very close.
Still don't have flying cars. Probably shouldn't.
We never will.
We we definitely shouldn't.
No.
They already get mad at me for flying my drone near an airport, let alone having a car
Right,
crashing
yeah.
around in the sky. No, like, but I relatively enjoyed the film. It's one of the few films I've watched recently where like I've actually taken time to think about kind of some of the stuff that's come out of it, and then also just the lighting, the set design, the cinematography, all of that is just like better than anything I've seen like in the last 20 years. Let's be fair.
Yeah, it looks great.
I didn't like this at all, to be very honest with you.
Really?
I kept waiting for the part that made it good, and that part never happened because I feel like it is such a slow burn. I was like, okay, there's got to be an apex where like shit gets crazy. I don't think shit ever got that crazy. And I just feel like for context one, I read the book. I really enjoyed the book. I think the book is a better medium for this story, just personally. And although I haven't seen any like the more updated versions of this. And also, I notoriously hate the 80s. I think it is the worst decade.
We talked about this during RoboCop.
Yes, I'm like, I think I hate the music. I think the 80s is the worst. And I feel like people really think about it nostalgically. And I'm just like, it wasn't that good. I promise it wasn't that good. And this movie is like peak of that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm solid on this. I'm glad I watched it just to say that I have watched it. But I was like, I wouldn't watch it again, to be honest. I was outside of like Harrison Ford being like a hottie, which I can watch him be hot in a lot of different movies. So,
right. I will
Yeah.
say, I think a note I had was least charismatic performance from Harrison
Yes.
Ford. Still hot,
100%.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like not necessarily. They have like the swagger of a Han Solo or an Indiana Jones or like any of the other stuff early in his career. This was definitely like just very awkward, and I attribute that again to like Ridley Scott and his direction of actors.
Yeah.
Like Ridley Scott, notoriously, he is one of the more pretentious directors in the industry and has been for a long time. If you ever hear anybody like kind of like, films these days are awful, they're all CGI and explosions, it's just like, yeah, but like you also don't know how to direct an actor to save your life.
It's true.
I can see that in this, again, especially with the romance, because I'm just like, one, it doesn't already, contextually, it doesn't really make that much sense, but like, he's a hot dude, she's a hot lady. I feel like I should feel at least something for that. All I felt was ick, ick.
Yeah.
Ew, no.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've seen Harrison Ford like just put on the smolder and then just like get whatever he wants, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not doing it for me right now.
No.
No.
I said, please stop.
No.
For everyone's sake.
That's what about you? Did you like it at all?
I actually did like it. I didn't love it, but I think it's because it was all the stuff we've already said, but also the like, oh, this is where everybody has gotten their ideas for the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Like every dystopian, every whatever has pulled something from this. And it makes sense why. Like it does a lot of things that at the time were innovative in terms of like sci-fi storytelling that just really aren't anymore when you're coming to it in 2024.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what the movie is, but I didn't love it. I kind of still had that same moment with like Brie had, where it was like, okay, when's the thing that's gonna make me love it?
And I more or less agree with that. I do agree that like it's not, I watched this like over 20 years ago and was just like, I don't really remember that movie. I kind of want to go back and revisit it. It's just like, okay, I see why this is an influential piece of media. I also see why it's not something that you put on every day as a comfort piece of media. It's
for sure.
The influence is there. It's definitely an influential piece of media. And like I said, I feel like where you see more of the influence of this film today is more in video games than you see in film, especially because like we've learned now, especially since a lot of films from the 80s were like what the future is going to be in 2016, 2019, 2020. It's just like, well, we're already there, guys, and it is a dystopian hellscape, but it's not quite the dystopian hellscape you said it was going to be.
Unfortunately.
It's like, we took all the shitty things about the dystopia that you got right, and didn't give you any of the cool stuff.
No.
I blame
I'm
Steve
glad that I
Jobs.
watched it. I will say that. Like, I'm glad I watched it, just to say that I watched it. But yeah,
Yeah.
just not again.
It's a
Yeah,
good piece of
that's
reference
fair.
point, I think, more than anything else. Like,
Mhm.
like when I feel like that's a lot of the conversation around Blade Runner is not necessarily talking about it as a amazing film that's so rewatchable, but more just like, here's how this film is relevant to how sci-fi and films have evolved in the future. Like even like Mass Effect, I think is like one that specifically borrowed a lot from this, especially in talking about like how they approach artificial intelligence and just it's just like when you create something that has sentience and a conscience, it's just like, okay, is that qualify as life? Like, is that again more human than human? Because again, the replicants at some points are just like these robots are behaving more like humans than a lot of the humans in this movie.
Yeah.
Humans are awful all the time, turns out. So
Yeah.
Yep.
No matter what, all the time. But yeah, I mean, in the end, the character that's the villain of the piece saves Harrison Ford, right? With his like dying act. That shows that like
Yeah, I came away with the opinion it's just like they're the antagonist, they're not the villain.
that's fair.
That's kind of what I came away with, like, by the end of it, is because like their motivation was just like, yo, we just want to live. Like that is our entire motivation, and Harrison Ford's entire thing is just like, be a cop, shoot bad guy, because I've told you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Totally not relevant to real life.
No. No, cops haven't been patrolling grocery stores instead of looking for missing bodies at all. That's not at all a thing that's happening.
not even. What do you mean? What a weird and random example for you to give.
Like, my favorite thing is like cops shooting into a crowd with a gun that is literally like shooting explosives, as far as I'm understanding the like physics of this firearm. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, totally normal.
Yeah.
Hasn't announced himself as a Blade Runner or a cop or all, just like chasing a woman down, shooting at her.
Yeah, just a guy shooting in the crowd. Cool. Just killing a woman. It's fine, probably.
As Ridley Scott would say, true cinema.
Yes. Again, I say the world Elon Musk wants. Like, where he can just shoot people with his flamethrower. Also, I have a note about the woman that he does shoot in the street. Is that weird clip-on top thing that she wears? It has no back.
Yeah.
It just like wraps around up here and down her side. That makes no sense.
No, absolutely
that like
not.
Functionally, what even is that?
Her whole outfit didn't make a lot of sense. Although I will say they just released a collection that was very similar to like her see-through coat, and it's like designer and worth like $600. Oh no, not $600, probably like $6,000. I was like, man, really, fashion does come back around all the time.
I mean, you could just go to Target and get a shower curtain and probably just like cinch one of those things up for like $5.
It's probably the same fucking material.
It probably is.
Probably.
And you do it without using a Chinese sweatshop.
Yeah.
Da-dun.
Just write Gucci on it in Sharpie. It's fine. No one will know.
New cosplay ideas.
Yes. Perfect.
Love it.
All right. Well, yeah. So, Blade Runner, good movie. I do recommend watching it if you've never seen it before. If you've seen it before and haven't really particularly been a fan of it, no harm, no foul. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think that's kind of what the final thoughts of it are. But if you want similar media to Blade Runner, I would say go play Mass Effect.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that.
Anyway, speaking of modern movie news, Joker Folie à Deux came out last week and is currently doing shitty on all metrics. To which I say, who could have possibly saw that coming?
Right?
Who was this for? Like, I was just thinking that today. I was like, I genuinely don't understand, because they alienated like the Joker incels by like having Lady Gaga in it. That's not and it being a musical. That's not things that either of them would want. Lady Gaga fans, I don't think would want to interact with this kind of medium. So I'm kind of like, I genuinely, who were they aiming this for? Because I do not understand.
I don't know either. And it also, from the reviews and stuff I've seen, it seems like it's very spiteful to the incels that latched onto the first one in a way that's kind of like, how fucking dare you have like identified this character as like, and it's like, but dude, you did make that movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the
you're
weird thing.
fault for some of this too.
Because, like, I watched the IGN review, and they basically talked about, like, how the entire plot of the movie more or less comes along and was just like, remember the movie that we made previously? We're going to talk so much about it, but not say anything that we don't already know about it.
Yeah.
And then
I could believe that from the things I've seen.
And then we're going to imply that Harley Quinn, as played by Lady Gaga, is just as much of an incel as you are, I guess.
A choice. A choice. Not a good one, but it is funny, like reading there's very few positive reviews on this, but even the positive reviews, it doesn't seem like they liked it. So I'm just like, what? They're just like, yeah, it's a piece of shit and it's very artsy and like up its own ass, but like, it's fine, I guess. I was like, I don't think you liked it, babe. Like, you could just say you didn't like it.
Yeah. No, a review that reminds me of a review I heard of it, which was like, it's better than the first one, but it's still not good.
Right.
But
I mean, I never watched the first one because I was just like, if I want to watch a Martin Scorsese film, I'm going to watch a Martin Scorsese film. I don't need to watch it and like with Joker as the protagonist instead of Robert De Niro. But
yeah.
Like the entire kind of thing is just like, one, was this a sequel anybody asked for? Two, did you even remotely consider like what a sequel to that film should have been? And three, like, was the last one even as much of a success to justify this one's existence? Because my understanding is
it made a lot of money.
Yeah,
it was the highest grossing R-rated superhero movie up to that point. Deadpool and Wolverine are just dethroned it.
I was about to say, because I remember Deadpool had just in the last couple of years like broken that barrier or something. That actually surprises me. But again, I should never underestimate incels.
Yeah.
True. I might be conflating opening weekend numbers with overall box office, but I'm pretty sure at the very least it was the opening weekend. It had the biggest opening weekend.
Yeah.
It was successful either way. Like, that's all there is to it. So I get them wanting to like make something else, but like, why this again? For who? Who was the target audience here?
Yeah, I don't know. It was for the true fans, the people who actually got Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix's vision for the first movie.
Did they have a vision for the first movie aside from again making a Martin Scorsese film? Literally again, as someone who's never seen the movie, has only ever seen the trailers, it's just like, so wait, it's just Taxi Driver and the comedian and just it's literally movies that already exist that you can go watch, but with the Joker.
Yeah, that makes it better because you remember the Joker, you like the Joker.
Do I though?
At this point.
Like,
no. I don't think
not for years.
I don't think I've liked the Joker since I was like, let's conservatively say 12.
That's about the age where you would like the Joker, I would think. I think that's an okay age to like the Joker.
And
nothing past that.
And then my prepubescent brain is just like, hey, girls are kind of hot. I should be nicer to them.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And just thank God it was we went through that before The Dark Knight came out, and then you would have a little Heath Ledger Joker on your shoulder at all times.
Oof, could you imagine?
I cannot.
Oof.
I'm the Joker.
The worst. Simply the worst.
You either die.
So who's your least favorite Joker?
I mean, it's unfair to say Joaquin Phoenix because I haven't actually watched the movies.
Yeah.
True.
Oof. I guess Jared Leto's. That's the easy one.
That's the easy one. Yeah, that was.
That's the easy. Say. That's the easy response. But like, not a controversial pick. You know, that's not a hot take.
Not at all.
Nobody's going to come in here and say, "How dare you talk bad about Jared Leto's Joker?"
We won't get angry comments on that for sure.
Suicide Squad was a masterpiece.
Oh God. Neither Suicide Squad was a masterpiece, but okay.
Certainly not.
That was so when that second one came out, the James Gunn one, I remember like getting on Twitter and like TikTok and seeing the response and being like, am I so out of touch? Like, no, it's the children who are wrong meme of like, no, that movie was bad. Why do you all love this? No, you're all wrong. That was a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have that response a lot with a lot of things that come out these days. Because I remember the first Suicide Squad, and like I had a couple of friends who were just like raving about it, and I was just like, did we watch the same movie? Because I walked out of that theater like was just like, that wasn't so bad. And as I was like walking through the parking lot, continued to think about it, it's just like, wow, that was really bad. Like it's just like yeah, it was like it started here and like gradually came over here in the time that it took me to leave the theater and walk out of the parking lot as I thought about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get that.
I wanted to point out one more positive review because I think this is very like telling of just how people. Again, this is a positive review. Todd Phillips would rather set fire to his own franchise than let the wrong people take inspiration from it. That's the entire review. That's a positive review for Foliant.
He's falling on the sword so that incels will stop identifying with this stupid thing. Right.
Unfortunately for him, I feel like that ship sailed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, very weird.
Yeah.
But not surprising.
Yeah. No, not surprising at all. It seemed like people didn't even really want to talk about the movie when it was coming out. It was just like, oh yeah, Joker's out. All right.
Yeah.
Because we have to review it.
Yeah. No, like, again, it was one of those things where it's just like, even the promotion around it was very like, they didn't, like, it's just like, anyways, here's a bunch of scenes of Gaga in it, which she's barely in the movie apparently, which I've also seen in terms of like screen time. And we don't really have much else to show you.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. I also love that they call her Lee instead of Harley, just to kind of further like
just as much
just
separation as possible.
exactly. I'm like,
It's just like
they don't do the character.
It's like, this character still makes money for us. We need you to kind of like not have full association.
Don't
ruin this for us here.
Well, like the weird thing is, and like I saw like the Madam Web comparison, which came out recently this year. The difference is like Madam Web was just a movie that they put out for the sake of putting out. There was like no effort put into that movie. Mm-hmm. It felt like there was at least an effort put into this movie. It was just bad.
Yeah,
too much effort, I would say. Arguably, I don't like. Again, like who is this for? Like who? Like again, outside of him burning his own franchise down, which like why? Why do it? You could have just let Joker be its, let the incels enjoy it forever, and it could have been a cult classic for fucking ever. But he's like, no, let's just ruin it. I guess. I don't know. Weird choice. I'm never gonna watch either movie, so it doesn't really matter to me. So I have no dog in this
fight.
Doesn't
affect my life at all.
Yeah, let's just keep in mind nobody here has actually watched these movies, and so therefore we're coming from a space of just like, if you like it, have fun.
I watched a pitch meeting for both of them, and that is all the investment I'm doing.
So. Anyways. In other online media news, YouTube is extending shorts to be 3 minutes long, to which begs the question, is short-form content dying again?
Uh,
I'm bummed about that. 3 minutes is too long. 10 minutes is too long, TikTok.
10 minutes is too long. I don't know, because it does seem like we go through this cycle of like shorter videos getting longer and longer and longer, and then we go back to short videos again.
Yeah.
So we might just be in that opposite turn. But at least as far as my For You page is concerned, I'm still, the average video I get is a minute.
Right.
And like, so I think we still want short format content, and this might be something that like YouTube and different sites are trying to push on us.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who's been uploading clips of this show up as shorts, I haven't been doing it as much lately because it just kind of gets really hard to like find at least like 1 minute worth, having a little bit of leeway on like how, much over or under a minute I can be is nice, but I feel like 3 minutes is excessive, and YouTube Shorts already has the worst short form algorithm for the style of content out there. It's like full of red pill content and just clips from other people's podcasts. It's not even people's original work for the most part.
Yeah.
or it's the same thing that we had back in the Snapchat era where Instagram implemented stories, and it's just basically so people are just taking their Snapchats and uploading them to Instagram. Same thing. It's just like they're just taking their TikToks and uploading them to YouTube.
Yeah.
So like, it's nice because like again, YouTube's been the one who's had it only be a minute for the longest, and like again, like, could you give me like 2 to 3 more seconds leeway on this? Cool, so that's good, but like 3 minutes is excessive in my opinion for what I'm trying to do with it. And YouTube, even back in the day, like you couldn't upload anything over like 5 minutes on YouTube unless you were a partner. Now it's just like just upload as long as you want it to be.
I think when I started on YouTube, it was 10 minutes was what you could upload.
It was something where it's just like there was a restriction on how long it could be. And then like over time, it just continued to grow to where it's just like, you can upload as much as you want. And we're only to encourage you to, like, where people are even saying like things need to be at least 4 hours long in order to like have any chance in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Which we talked about last week, of course, and this is probably an extension of this. And it's interesting, I don't know if you guys watched the video, but like they talk about like what's going to happen, and like people who have like square or vertical style videos that are already uploaded under 3 minutes are going to automatically get converted to shorts.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's a very interesting change.
Yeah, that's a decision. I don't hate the decision because it means like people who uploaded videos in that style, like maybe they'll see a boost in traffic because of that and visibility, but also at the same time.
But that means that a lot of classic YouTube videos are going to be put into the Shorts catalog now.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things about it, and they said it's going to be a pretty slow rollout, but apparently this starts October 15th, which is just in a couple of days. So
fun.
So
interesting. I mean, it must be like Seth said. I guess it is just a cycle that these things go back around. Because I'm just like, at least I honestly have deleted TikTok recently, and I've been so fucking happy without TikTok because I just feel like the longer those videos have gotten, the worse they have gotten. People just talk for fucking ever, and I watch almost every video on 2 times speed because I'm just like, get to the fucking point. And like I kind of liked the way that YouTube Shorts were because it was just like clips of like small things. Like I think it was a minute a max before.
It was 1 minute.
That's digestible. That's nice, especially if I'm like about to go to bed. I just want to watch a couple quick things. Like that was excellent. I would still love to have access to that like really short, quick content. I wish I could have both. Just like there's got to be a sweet medium somewhere. I just don't know what it is.
Again, for what I was doing with the shorts, and like obviously now having more leeway on it, I'll probably be able to do more shorts again. But like just an extra like a minute 30. Just to give me the extra leeway. I don't need the full minute 30, but like there were several times where like there was a good clip, but there was no good way of like getting like the whole minute in. There was always just like something off, and so it's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna abandon this and move on.
Yeah. A minute is tough. Like a minute 30, because I believe that's usually how Instagram is for like stories and things like that. I'm like, that's a really, really solid amount of time. Like, again, I mostly edit dance clips, but it is nice because then I can get like a whole section of the song, get like a decent chunk of choreo. A minute is very limiting. So like, I definitely see that, but I'm like, 3 minutes? Real long. That's a video. That's a full video for me.
We'll see how people go about it. Again, I also think that YouTube Shorts algorithm is probably the worst of the algorithms that I have seen, at least on my own content side. I don't know what your guys' algorithms look like, but I'm assuming.
I don't post on YouTube Shorts, but I've heard a lot of people complain about the algorithm too and how horrible it is.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. But anyways, so kind of leading into some maybe just like fun little chatter. What is your guys' YouTube watch habits these days?
Okay, let me check. I need to verify that. It's like what?
I actually wrote a few down so that I would be prepared.
Good for you.
I've recently, I've watched this channel a lot, but it's October, so it's Halloween time. I watched Dr. Wolfula. Are either of you familiar with him?
Mm-mm.
They are horror movie reviews done from the perspective of a horror movie monster. So he dresses up as a horror movie monster and then reviews horror movies.
That's
It's a really fun channel. And so yeah, Dr. Wolf, yeah, he's great. And then probably my favorite YouTube channel of all time is called Continue. It's a let's play ish. You've seen Continue?
I have, yeah.
It's such a great show. I've been watching it forever and I love it. It's just three guys playing video games, hanging out, and that's pretty much the show. And then I have
I've watched it in a long time. I'll have to check that out again.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
still
know they were
good.
still making videos. That's awesome.
I think
Yeah.
piggybacking off of Brie, I feel like a lot of my YouTube habits is like literally like I get into the thing for like a very specific piece of time and then just falls off. And some of that is me, and some of that is sometimes the creators.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that's like literally just the algorithm stops serving me their content, and I'm not like actively looking for it. And you know, every now and again, it's just like, oh, I wonder what that creator's doing. It's like, oh, they're still there. They still do stuff.
They're still doing it.
I had a funny moment. We talked about our podcast last week, or the podcast that we like to listen to. I mentioned Geekenders, and on one of the episodes, one of their guests was Charlie is so cool. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know they were trans. I completely missed.
She looks so cute.
I completely missed that entire arc, and so when I watched them as a guest, I was just like, I missed a whole chunk of things that have happened.
That is new-ish, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a newer development.
Yeah,
so
my understanding is that she backed off of making content, obviously. I believe she lives in Canada now, and then the transition happened. She's been doing stuff on Twitch more than YouTube these days. Yes. But just like, it was just like one of those things where it's just like seeing like such an OG YouTuber and like the context that I have of them in my head, not really following them at all, and then them having popped up and like just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Surprise, cool. But like just surprised.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot has changed here. All right. Okay.
It's like, well, you look great.
She does. Yeah. She looks so happy. She looked so comfortable. Like I couldn't be happier for her.
She looks calmer more than anything else. She's very, you know, kind of subdued. Like I remember back in the day, like they were very animated and stuff in a lot of the content that they were doing, but she seems just more relaxed now, and I think that's great.
Yeah. So happy. Yeah. Hold on, I'm still scrolling. For me, I will say I am a basic bitch, and I do still like, especially as background noise. I love Let's Plays, so like I still love Markiplier. I just think he's the best, and he's also so hot. So in every stage,
hot has
that voice.
Helped.
Are you fucking kidding me? I don't do like fan cam stuff, obviously, but every now and again something will pop up of Markiplier on a TikTok, and I'm just like, I fucking get it. He knows. Here's the thing, and he knows it too. He is well fucking aware that he is a hot man. So that's it. And actually, kind of similarly, Jacksepticeye, I actually did not like him when he first came up because I thought he was very fucking obnoxious. I think now that he's in his 30s and has like a stable relationship and is like calmed down a lot, he's a lot more fun to watch. And he's also grown his hair out, become like a handsome dude.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks really good. And the content's better now, which I like. And also I don't like horror content at all, but I do weirdly really like watching people play horror games because I get like a second, I have a layer in between me where I don't get the full scare because like a lot of those games are really fucking good and I will never play them, but I do like seeing them. So, so those are my main ones, but I do, as I mentioned before, overly sarcastic productions. It's a lot of mythology. It's a lot of story, telling tropes that they go over and some history. I'm not as interested in the history. I also follow a couple of budgeting people, which I won't talk about because that's a little more embarrassing. And then Vivzy Pop, of course. Pitch Meeting is great. And I think, and Scott the Woz. I love Scott the Woz.
Oh yeah, so, I've got Scott the Woz on mine too.
You guys keep bringing up Scott the Woz. I'm probably going to have to start watching more of that.
He's really good.
He's really good, yeah.
A lot of retro game stuff. And then Todd in the Shadows for like song and pop music reviews. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's everybody.
No, I've been doing a lot of Jesse Cox for like the Gig Enders podcast and some of his Let's Play stuff and like some of the people that he works with. I listen to him and Krendor every now and again. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I kind of have on my YouTube feeds are like stuff where I'm just like, in and out of, like, wouldn't necessarily say I recommend to anybody. Like, I was on a big Linus Tech Tips kick when I was like starting to build a PC, but like at the same time it's just like, you're also kind of annoying and I don't necessarily like you as a person.
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching Linus.
Yeah, so like it's like one of those things where it's just like, so I'll catch things as they're interest me, but I wouldn't say like I'm a religious watcher of the content. It's more less about the personality and more wanting to kind of like learn more about the stuff. And like even then, like they don't necessarily do a super great deep dive. I occasionally catch some photography stuff like from Petapixel. A lot of stuff that I used to watch a lot of kind of went away, like the Rooster Teeth thing I fell off of and now they're gone. You have a couple of other motorcycle stuff, which again is very specific to me. So if you're not into motorcycles, don't know if I'd recommend.
Fair.
But like, yeah, like I think what's great about YouTube over a lot of the other content platforms is that you can get as niche as you want to, and you have a little bit more control over what you watch comparatively to like a TikTok or a Instagram. Whereas like, you know, those platforms feed you as much random crap that it thinks you want, which YouTube does that too. Let's not get that wrong. But you at least have a more flexible ability to go and find the things you want to watch on YouTube still, which I think is very important, and which is why I think it's stayed around for so long.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
And yeah, the search function in TikTok is garbage. You can't find shit if you try and search on TikTok.
Every time my wife goes to try search for something on TikTok, I'm just like, why are you searching this on TikTok? Why?
Yeah. You're not gonna find it
unless it's a particular creator. But like, even that's how I got onto my my budgeting stuff on YouTube, because I kept trying to find out information about this one thing. Cash stuffing is what I wanted to learn about, and all of the TikToks were so unfucking helpful. It was all just selling me shit, and I'm just like, can you just tell me what this fucking thing is? I just want to know what it is. So thankfully, I found it on YouTube right away and found a bunch of people that were like very educated and just like explained the thing to me. I was like, thank you. That's what I fucking wanted all along. So YouTube is very good for that.
And that is one of the benefits of longer form content, is that like you can't just be doing like a crappy sales pitch the entire time. You actually have to have some substance to what you're saying in order for it to even remotely be viable. Granted, there's definitely some YouTubers out there who are definitely doing like crappy scammy things all the time.
No question.
But like, you know, depending on your media literacy and savvy, you can catch on to those trends very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of like financy type things, there's a channel I watch called The Company Man, where he goes over like how businesses have like risen and fallen over the years and the like financial decisions they made and all the sales they went through. It's the most boring shit in the world, but I'm fascinated by it.
There's something about just like having a nice long video of a boring subject that you're just like hyper interested in. There's just like,
you're right.
Like it's one of those things. It's just like, I can't recommend this to anybody else, but
it's a great fucking video.
This is just hitting the spot for me so well.
I'm sorry, Ocean Liner Designs. I want to tell people about your channel, but no one else knows about boats the way that I care about boats.
Oh, watching videos of motorcycle maintenance of motorcycles I don't own. We'll watch the crap out of that.
I understand that.
For me and me alone.
But it is great when you are able to find content on YouTube that is like, oh, this was made for me.
Yeah.
This is so specific to me. It's always great when you find that.
Yeah. And then when you find out that they did something shitty, it's just like, well, I guess that person's dead now.
Yeah, well, shit. I haven't been able to watch a JonTron video in 8 years because he died.
It's so sad, so tragic. Because actually, that's how I found out about Continue, through JonTron.
Same actually, yeah.
Yes, because I'm like, I fucking love JonTron, and I was like, oh god damn it, you're a racist. Fuck.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden things start making sense in his videos, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's one of those things like once you see it and you go back and you see all the signs, you're just like, oh.
They were there. I didn't notice.
Dang
it.
I mean, that happens like so often, and like sometimes it's like not even to that level, but there's always just something where it's just like as soon as a certain creator or somebody associated with a certain group like just does something that just rubs you the wrong way, it's just like it ruins the rest of it for you.
It really does.
It really, really does.
That's what happened with me with Rooster Teeth, where it's just like just one thing, just like, yep, didn't like that.
Can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I found that a lot during Trump's presidency, where like Republicans were like slipping dog whistles into their YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I'm watching a guy who all he does is talk about Jurassic Park and like analyze different moments in the Jurassic Park books. And then he like slips in this like Trumpian dog whistle. And I'm like, fuck, I can't watch this channel anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like how they're not even doing dog whistles anymore. They're just like full on.
No.
Just like, I'm already canceled, and this is the only audience that will listen to me now. So gotta keep the monetizing train going.
Yep.
It's the worst, unfortunately. I forgot to mention as well, actually, I'm not subscribed to any of these people, but I really should be because I love their videos. But Curtis Connor, Danny Gonzalez, and Drew Gooden, great fucking videos all the time. And I am not subscribed to them for some reason. So.
I think I'm subscribed to Drew. I'm not subscribed to Danny or the other one you mentioned.
Curtis Connor?
But I just... Chris Connor, yeah. Curtis Connor. Yeah. But I did just watch Danny's newest video yesterday. So, like, I watch his channel.
I recognize the names, couldn't tell you a single thing about them.
They're really good. Yeah, and again, I don't know why I'm not subscribed to any of them. They honestly make very, very good, very niche content. I mean, like Curtis, that like maybe like a month ago made a video about like a gaming seat, and I was locked in. Let me tell you, it was like an hour video about this gaming seat that was made in the 80s. I was like, oh my, what? Crazy? Tell me more. YouTube, man. Yep. I love that about it.
It's YouTube. Another one that I will recommend real quick is Internet Historian. He documents things of importance in the history of the internet, such as Rainforest, DashCon, the Area 51 raids. And they're purposely comedic videos, but they're very well researched for the most part.
Well, I mean, those are very comedic topics.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you talk about DashCon with a straight face.
Yeah, right.
I think Jenny Nicholson covered that too.
I think she did, yeah.
Also very good. Her videos are excellent.
Jenny Nicholson's one of my favorites. That Star Wars hotel video was incredible.
I remember. I saw that
that's
one.
The thing I don't care about at all, but I'm just like, wow, this is a fucking great video. She really
is. This. No, I've watched her Vampire Diaries one like 4 times, and I'm like, I don't care about Vampire Diaries, but it's a great video.
She's just really good.
She is.
All right, so we talked a little bit about comfort YouTube channels. What about comfort shows? What do you guys put on in the background when you just need some kind of background noise in your apartment?
Just need something on. I recently have gotten real into Doctor Who again for background noise.
Interesting.
And putting stuff on. Also, Simpsons and Bob's Burgers are a classic go-to for me. And yeah, just stuff like that, really. I'm looking at my movies.
I think my normal
Simpsons is great.
My normal go-to for just like putting something on has always been, at least since college, been Clone Wars, which we watched part of the first season on the show. I put on Scrubs recently just because I was like scrolling through. Is a good one. I was scrolling through Hulu and like I was like, oh hey, Scrubs, okay cool, just put that on like as I'm going to sleep. A couple of other ones that. Star Trek SG-1, it's not an easy one to sit down and watch anymore. It doesn't hold up super well, but like if you just need the background noise and the comfort, go for it. Emily definitely has more, classic comfort shows. Right now she's on a Gilmore Girls and Buffy kick, so I've been suffering through that.
Fun.
They're not bad. So like for context, my stepmom and my sister were into Gilmore Girls as it was airing. And so, like, as such, if it's on TV, it's on TV. I have no choice.
Right.
And then in college, when me and Emily started dating, she started watching it for the first time on streaming. And literally from the other room, I could hear like what was happening. It's like, oh, is that the episode where da 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 da? Like I knew every episode and every plot beat just from being in the other room and saying it's just like, how do you know all this stuff? It's like I grew up in this.
You're like, I don't want to. But
I was molded by it. And she was just like, oh, I really don't like this character. It was like, you don't like this character now. Wait until season 3.
Yeah. Great. That's amazing.
They fixed them. Don't worry. That's really funny.
But yeah, so like this is I think her 4th watch through of it now, and so like I'm just like I'm a child again, and I hate this. I love you, Emily.
The worst way. Let's see. I feel like I think I put this question. Now I'm like struggling. I would say the main ones are. I'm actually rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. Real good. That show is so fucking good. And I'm rewatching season 1. I was like, oh no, maybe the first season is kind of not as good. Very good, very funny. I've laughed out loud so many times. So that's like my recent comfort show. But also She-Ra. If I really don't pay attention to it, the problem is I like She-Ra so much that I will just like get, I get so sucked in, but it is so good. I've rewatched that many, many times. Schitt's Creek is a big one as well. I just adore that show. And trying to think of what else. I think those are probably the main ones I would say. I have a lot of comfort YouTube channels and videos that like if I am going to sleep, actually Scott the Woz is probably one of my biggest ones just because like I've watched all of his videos several times and they're usually like 15 to 30 minutes, which is perfect for me to go to sleep to.
That's a very solid time frame.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's hard to find videos with like exactly that perfect time frame where it's like, okay, well, I can settle in, I can wash my face, and I can get into bed, and then by the time it's like at the 15-minute mark, I can, just hear that going to sleep. Same thing with pitch meeting, though. If I'm really high and I know I'm going to be falling asleep very quickly, pitch meeting is great for that. So.
Yeah, I feel like there's different categories of comfort shows, like ones that you're gonna sit down and watch, and the ones that you just kind of have on in the background, and that's always kind of always a interesting distinction because I feel like if I put on Simpsons right now, I would want to be watching The Simpsons.
Mm. Yeah, I see that. For me, I had the first 10 seasons on DVD as a teenager, so that's all I watched ever. Like, so even though I do still sit and watch The Simpsons, it's a show that I can check in on and be like, oh, that's the episode that's playing, and then play the entirety of it in my mind while I'm doing other stuff.
Yeah, like you could just hear the audio and you don't necessarily have to have the visual because you already have it kind of committed to memory.
Yeah. Exactly. But also because I just remembered them, Storage Wars and Hoarders are 2 of my favorite trash TV shows. Fucking love me some Storage Wars.
That's an interesting one. Bree, do you have any trash TV comfort shows?
Here's the thing. I can't get into trash TV because I get too sucked in. Like that is like I watched a couple years ago I watched Geordie Shore, which was like the UK version of Jersey Shore. Right. And let me tell you, I just like casually watched it like an episode and then I was sucked in. I sat there and I watched like the entire season. I was like, I can't handle myself with trash TV because it is too good. I just found on TikTok a duck version of The Bachelor, and let me tell you, I've been glued to that series. So
there's a duck version of The Bachelor.
I will send it to you. It is very, very cute. Lots of drama going on. It's adorable. But yeah, I get too involved in those kind of shows. I can't. I wish I could.
It's a hard duck life out there, man.
It really is.
Oh man, yeah. I'm trying to think of trash TV. Like, I don't watch a lot of it now, but I remember as a teenager, just like any of the like really horrible MTV reality dating shows.
Yeah.
I remember watching Flavor of Love on VH1. That was fucking that was so good. So horrible. So horrible, but so good.
I would say Room Raiders and Next Fan. Those are my 2 favorite.
Yeah, I remember Next. Remember the one where it was like the parents set the, whoever up with like the blind dates, well, the like boyfriend or girlfriend were sitting with them watching. Apparently, those were all fake. Those were all paid actors.
I believe it.
To which I'm just like, I feel like everything that's ever been on MTV has just been like paid actors.
No question. I would not doubt that for a second.
Yeah.
Kind of along those lines, which again, this is probably very specific to me, but like, no, not even. I love Say Yes to the Dress. Let me tell you, I am like not even super interested in being married. I'm not even super interested in having a wedding. I do want a wedding dress though. Like that is something that is so important to me. I already have it picked out. But let me tell you, I will sit there and watch that forever. I'll just be like, oh my God, I can't believe she went the mermaid dress. That is so fucked up. She should have gone with dress number 3. Like I have big opinions about it. So I get too invested.
There's a reason Emily made her own dress for when we eloped in Vegas.
Smart.
That makes sense.
Like it's just there were specific things that she wanted. She wanted to make her own dress, and she wanted specific people there, and we made that happen. But we did it flying to Vegas.
Perfect.
Hey.
As God intended.
Yes.
Probably. Sure.
We think.
Anyway, so this has been a nice little kind of a show and tell episode. So I wanted to maybe bring back a show favorite, nerd show and tell. So
Yes.
I gave you guys about 24 hours notice on this, so
Yeah.
hopefully you guys are ready. But Seth, you seem to be very anxious over there. So I'm first.
I have it in arm's reach.
For
My
once.
portal gun.
Of course, you have a portal gun.
Cool.
Yeah, it makes sounds.
I still need a play portal.
Nice.
It's so good. I prefer Portal 2, but that's because that's the one I played first.
Yeah, I mean, I got it.
But yeah, this isn't.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not the size of the one in the game. The one in the game like takes
It's
up
like
your whole
it's like
arm.
an
Right.
cannon.
Yeah, but you know, it sits on my entertainment center and it looks good, and it has lights which you can't see because of the sun. But yeah,
But he does have
That's
a
my
full size Gladys in his closet.
yes, but that's a sex thing.
Can't show that.
Yeah.
Or can we? Pornhub exclusive.
Yes.
Yes.
The
After Dark
extended edition of the show.
Seth's director's cut of the show.
Yes, exactly.
Bree, what about you?
Cool.
What did you bring?
I will say I'm going a slightly different direction on this, only because I really wanted to show. I have Wonder Woman Odyssey, when that came out, I collected all the variant covers, and I wanted to show you all the variant covers. I just have no fucking clue where my comic books are, so that was not a possibility. So, but I'm gonna show something that I'm very nerdy about, and I actually need to calm down on. But I'm an avid crystal collector. I'm one of those girlies.
Okay.
I apologize. I will say, in my defense, I only buy from one person because most people who sell crystals are shady as fuck. The only person I buy from like really focuses on education and also like points out when people are selling things that are like absolutely not sustainably. Like a fun fact, lapis lazuli, don't buy that anywhere because it's only sourced in Afghanistan and they are not sourced ethically. It's definitely slave labor, so we make sure we don't buy things like that. So I want to show a couple of my favorites, which are mainly frogs. I have so many crystal frogs, and he's so cute, and he's got like nice little warts on him. And if you're like, Bree, that's great. If only you had 2. Don't worry, I do have 2. So I got another one, and they kiss all the time, which was why I got 2, so that they could kiss. And also
They're both boys.
And they were roommates.
That's my partner shows me videos like that, and they're both boys. Constantly.
Good.
Oh, that's such a good reference. That also,
Thank you.
super sidebar. I was talking to my coworker yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, we should do something fun like the apple orchard." I'm like, "The apple orchard," and she did not get the reference.
We could kill someone. That was one of my favorite treads for the longest time.
Oh,
Mostly
so
because
good.
of all the goth women who were specifically doing it.
Oh my God, it's so funny, and it's just like it's such a bummer when people don't know what I'm talking about because like I'm like I'm just like, oh, you don't? Okay, no, it's fine. I can't explain this to you. It's okay. So.
I have a
Alright.
resident Gen Zer at my office who's like the only one who I can like make TikTok references to.
Yeah, and you have to have the right person. So you have to be a chronically online person like yourself. So. But yes, I have crystal frogs, and I
Yes.
did want to show my pièce de résistance. I spent way too much money on this, but this is the biggest crystal I have.
Oh.
It is
Ooh.
fluorite. It is about 7 pounds. I have to hold it with 2 hands, but yeah, it's got like purple at the bottom, and then it's got like all of this. It is gorgeous. I love it so much. I can't display it because it's so fucking huge, so it just sits on the table right now. But it is my pride and joy. I think it is so gorgeous. So yeah, those are my crystals. I have 8,000. I'm not going to show you. Well, actually, I'm going to show you one more just because it's sitting right here. But I got this ocean jasper, and I really love it because it looks like waves on a beach, and that's just how it naturally formed. And I think that's really cool. So
that is.
That's me. And here's the thing about crystals, which I'm sure I've said before, but best case scenario, they have these really cool properties that, and they look pretty, or I have very pretty rocks, and I love having pretty rocks. This one's shaped like a turtle. So,
yeah.
What else could I need?
Love turtles.
Welcome to the Brie autism episode, everyone. I like
yes,
turtles and rocks.
Finally.
It's this and birds, by the way. Identifying birds, I will go off. Fancy.
Well, speaking of autism and things we have spent too much money on in our careers.
Ooh.
Oh.
This is my rig.
Very cool.
Nice.
There is probably about, I want to say, probably just north of $5,000 worth of equipment on this right now, give or take.
Nice.
So when I left Discovery, I got like a really big bonus right before they laid me off, and so basically this is where all of that money went, because I'm financially responsible.
Yes, clearly.
But no, so it's using a Nikon D780, which is like a full 4K. It outputs, 422 color space and 10-bit that I can record here on the Atomos display monitor that I have right here. I hooked up a Zoom audio setup that has like 4 XLR points, so I can also run like better audio directly into camera that will also run into that. Put it on a stabilizer, and then everything is run off of one giant battery that I put on here. So basically, I just, took basically what is fairly pedestrian camera equipment and turned it into what basically would be a pro level camera, just from piecemealing it all together.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, and then I've only probably used it twice.
It's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yup.
I mean, like, especially after I left Discovery and I was, going back into video production, I wanted to make sure that, I had all of the equipment I needed to be up to modern standards and everything else. So, made the investment. Unfortunately, my current work has me doing less production and more, let's say, stuff.
Okay.
Stuff pays the bills,
Just
so
stuff.
fair enough.
It's like the paychecks are still clearing, which is good because it means that all of this stuff is paid off. None of this stuff that's currently on this rig is like financed whatsoever. It's all owned by me, so don't have
That's
to
all
worry
that
about
matters.
Nice.
And yeah, so like I want to try to do more production projects. I don't necessarily know what I would do with all of this stuff personally because I'm not very good at producing or directing full feature films, but figuring out what I kind of want to start doing production wise. Maybe I just need more actor friends, So,
Awesome.
I also made the joke back in the day, Seth, you know this, where I talked about how, like, if anybody ever wandered into my apartment and saw all the film and lighting gear that was just sitting in my living room, it's just like, I think they think I filmed porn here.
Yeah, I remember you making that joke. Yeah.
And so now I'm at the joke. It's just like, man, like if only Emily was into doing OnlyFans, we'd keep making such high quality stuff.
You really
You
could.
could be making bank.
Rats.
God.
Maybe once we open up the relationship, we can just find an OnlyFans girl. It's just like, hey, like she can manage the account, I can do all the filming, you can do whatever you want. It's just like as long as everybody's tested and consensual, like we're all good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Done and done.
But yeah, so that's it.
I love that you wouldn't be opening up the relationship because it's what both of you want. You're opening it up for a business adventure.
Yeah, no.
In this economy.
We've talked about the only reason that we want a third is like we mostly just want a third person paying rent.
More than fair.
We're honest about the exchange here. We did the talk just like, so boy, girl. It's just like, yeah, no, I'm okay with a third being a boy. Like, we could just be bros. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm open
As long
to
as they
it.
have an income, it's fine. So,
Yeah.
oh, goodness.
That's good.
Anyways, so that's it for Nerd Show and Tell, and that's all we have on the topic doc. Does anybody else want to talk about anything else going on in the world?
No. Oh, God, no.
Have we gotten
Elon's
enough? Have we gotten any more dystopian stuff that we want to bring in?
That fucking van that Elon released and all of his little army of like worker bots that came stumbling out from behind. Just awful all around. I don't have anything more to say about it than that. And just build a train, Elon, like you promised us you were gonna.
No, he promised a hyperloop. That's different.
That's true. That's true.
Which he did specifically so they wouldn't make a train.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I do see way too many Cybertrucks now, which is very sad. Like before, it was kind of like a meme where I saw them occasionally. I see them daily now, and I fucking hate that for me and humanity.
Yeah, it's stopped being funny.
Yeah, it really has.
But no, going back to your thing that you brought up, that's the van and the robot things. I saw something on Instagram earlier today. It was like comparing that to the stuff from iRobot.
Yeah,
it's like he's not even trying anymore.
No.
It's a nightmare.
I
hate
it's the worst timeline, everybody. I hate it here.
Yeah.
Again, we got the dystopian future with all of the horrible parts, but none of the cool stuff.
No.
Yeah. The second we get time travel, I'm going back and saving Harambe and fixing all this shit.
That's when it started. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, it's like, did we kill baby Hitler? No, we killed the baby that fell into the gorilla tank.
Yeah,
we had to do it.
It's like you see them taking the shot, and instead of me jumping in front of the bullet, I jump and push the kid in front of the bullet.
I thought you were gonna push the guy shooting the gun just goes slightly off and then hits the kid.
Oh.
that way Harambe's innocent. He's not the one who killed the kid. The guy who shot the gun shot the kid, and Harambe got to live.
It all worked out. Why am I in cuffs?
I'm saving everyone.
the time cops show up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
we gotta clean up
the
Langoliers
show up and start eating everything.
All right. Well, anyways, that's our show. I guess the next thing to do is figure out what our next homework assignment is, and I believe it's Bree's turn.
Yes. So I have two potential options. They are drastically different from one another. So one is like just kind of because obviously we are heading to a very tumultuous time with the election coming up. So I'm like, okay, I had like a darker show in mind, but like it's one I've been meaning to watch. But I'm like, maybe I want something lighter that I don't think either of you have seen. So one thought was Schitt's Creek because that would be a nice comfort show to watch. And the other is Castlevania because I've never seen it, but I've heard it's really good. So
okay.
I've watched the first season and a half of Castlevania.
Okay.
I have only seen Schitt's Creek in passing again as like a show Emily was watching, and like I only saw like bits and pieces of, similar to like She-Ra.
Okay.
So I'm down for both. I would probably say Schitt's Creek would probably be a little bit more fun. Be completely honest.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either, so I'm up.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm up to you.
I think comfortably like probably the first season, maybe if you can get to that. I don't think it's a super long show.
I was about to say,
and I think
it's 3 seasons or
I think it's 4 seasons, and I don't think they're super long seasons.
We also have an extended time until our next recording, so we have a little bit more time.
Yes, that was my thought as well, because then we have some time to kind of just like slowly digest it. And unfortunately, I think it is off of Netflix now, but I do think it's available like pretty much everywhere. I know it's on Amazon for sure, and possibly Hulu. Oh, there's 6 seasons actually, but like
Yeah.
ideally like first, second season. So depending on
But
what
yeah,
you
if
get
you
to.
like
So
watch 1 or 2 episodes a day, you'll probably get enough of a sample size by the time we meet up again.
yeah. All right,
Yeah.
let's do that. Schitt's Creek it is.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
Nice.
I'm TCK Media on most platforms. You can find me on YouTube. You got that Seth23 down there who is occasionally on the TikToks. He's very, very sorry. And you have Arkunaloon herself. She does a show called Game Birds on YouTube and all their podcasting platforms where she talks about indie games. They've been on hiatus shortly, but I'm sure they'll be publishing again pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Try not to throw her under the bus, but it's
No,
my
of
job.
course.
It's my job to give you shit.
Yes.
And
It's not my fault this time.
this time.
This time.
Anyways, we appreciate you guys all taking your time out of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.